Welcome to Casual Learning. I'm your host, John Bannon. Today I'm going to do a video summary of Chapter 8 of my newest book, Superdeterminism Defeats Atheism. You can get this book on Amazon Kindle. Chapter 8 is entitled God-Given Truths. This video is my refutation of the sixth point of atheistic ideology that I set forth in chapter 1 of my book, namely, live your own truth. Many deny the very existence of objective truth, claiming that all knowledge must come through the subjective filter of perspective. These people tell us to live our own truth based on your own opinion about what is best for you. By denying objective truth, these people are denying the right by anyone to instruct someone on how to live an objectively correct lifestyle. So the idea is, well, God isn't real. The universe doesn't give us a preconceived notion of how to live or what's correct or true. Therefore, you have to make up your own mind about that. And nobody has the right to say that their subjective truth is more valid than yours. Therefore, you should live your own truth. Few would argue that scientific fact is not objectively true, but science usually doesn't tell us how to live our lives. It's God given truths or truths in religions that tell people how to live correctly that get the brunt of the criticism uh, from these people. However, God given truths are real. God created our block universe and predetermined Christianity to be the predominant religion about God. It is reasonable to infer that God endorsed Christianity as his will for humanity. Consequently, the moral teachings of Jesus Christ and his church are an objective God given truth to everyone, everywhere. And the reason is that God is the universal creator for everyone. So what God says goes for everyone. So God-given truths are objective. God Himself has to be objective because God is omniscient; He knows everything, and therefore He can't have a subjective perspective that interprets something. God can't uh, interpret something because He knows everything. There's nothing for Him to interpret. So anything God says about truth must be objectively true. God given truths include the command to love God and love your neighbor as yourself. You can look at Mark 12, 29 to 31 for that. It also includes the command by Jesus to sin no more. That's at John chapter 5, verse 14. So Christianity and God tells us not only that you can sin, but that you need to stop sinning. The Bible is a predetermined book endorsed by God about God's will for humanity. The Bible was predetermined to exist in our block universe. God predetermined our block universe. Therefore, God predetermined the existence of the Bible. And because the Bible is about Christianity, and Christianity is the predominant religion about God in our predetermined universe, then one can infer that the Bible has been endorsed by God as his will for humanity. The Bible is not simply a book of wisdom literature learned by some human beings unconnected to God's intentional, predetermined plan for humanity. While God has endorsed Christianity, uh, what about all those other religions? Well, almost all of those other religions aren't actually about God. So they can't be God's endorsed religion. And a lot of these other religions can be proven false under Dr. Hansen's version of superdeterminism, such as Buddhism and Hinduism. The idea that the universe is an impermanent, temporary, ultimately empty place is completely false. So Buddha was wrong, completely wrong. The universe is actually probably permanent static block universe. And in Hinduism, the idea of karma and reincarnation, they're both contingent on the reality of there being some sort of transmigratory being that is capable of leaving the body upon death and entering a new body in order to have reincarnation. Well, in a predetermined static block universe without continuous causation, there's no such thing as this ghost in the machine or some sort of transmigratory being capable of reincarnation. So a lot of these religions can simply be proven false by physics, by Dr. Hansen's proof. And Dr. Hansen's proof appears in Physics Essays, Volume 33, Number 2, in 2020. It's entitled Bell's Theorem and Its Tests, Proof that Nature is Superdeterministic, Not Random. So you can look that up on the internet yourself and read it. It's based on special relativity, Einstein's theory, so it's solid. It's a solid proof, and there is no objection to his physics that he can't get past. So it's flawless. Um, Nevertheless, you have all these people around the world who are members of other religions, not Christianity. Does that mean they all go to hell? And the answer is no. Now, God is omniscient, meaning he knows everything, which means he also knows all your freely willed decisions in all situations and in all possible universes without any need to create any of those universes in order to watch what you do and acquire that knowledge. God already knows everything you would ever freely choose to do. This means that God also knows what a non Christian would freely choose to do uh, in the hypothetical situation where they were a Christian and they actually knew about Christianity and God's will for humanity. So God can righteously judge a non-Christian based on his omniscience of how they would behave if they had been exposed to Christianity and knew the gospel and God's teachings for humanity. So Buddhists and Hindus don't necessarily go to hell simply because they arbitrarily did not learn about Jesus in Christianity. Uh, Same thing with the cavemen who lived, 100,000 years ago, who had no exposure to Christianity whatsoever. God can still judge them based on the hypothetical knowledge of how they would have behaved if they had been exposed to Christianity. Uh, However, this if you're a non-Christian, the fact that you're not following Christianity creates an uncertainty about whether you're going to go to hell or not because you're not following Christian teaching, and therefore it gives you a very good incentive to convert to Christianity. In our predetermined universe, every thought you have is predetermined to occur as part of God's plan. You cannot independently self generate your own ideas about truth because you have no free will on earth to do so, nor do you have the actual power to cause or change your own thoughts beyond what was predetermined to occur because continuous causation in physics is not real. Any truth you learn actually comes from God's predetermined plan that you receive that truth, not from your own efforts at trying to decide what truth is. You literally have no power to generate your own truths in order to live by them because continuous causation in physics is not real, as proven by Dr. Hansen's proof. So, this whole idea of live your own truth is completely false. It's completely false. The only truths you ever are aware of are the ones that God has predetermined you to be aware of. And they're not your truths, they're not the truths that you generated. Those truths were given to you by God, who predetermined your existence and every thought you've ever had. So, this idea of living your own truth couldn't be more false under Dr. Hansen's version of superdeterminism. Okay. Um, next time, I'll come back with a video summary of chapter 9 of my book, God Made Religion. All right, take care, everybody.